we go. Yes. Welcome to Magi Monday. I'm Andrea Blythe, the traveling Magi, with one of my very favorite Eight of Clubs people, the one, the only, Rhea. My youngest child is this very special card, the Power of the Mind card. Sweet child of mine, do you feel like you have a powerful mind?
Oh, yes, I certainly do. It's actually a little bit scary sometimes.
Yeah, in what ways?
Um, well, I feel like manifesting happens really strongly with me. I've manifested a lot in my lifetime, and
And by the way, for the record, this one is not even 17 yet, just a
not even
couple short weeks away from 17. So manifesting, yeah, the power of the mind. What about, we talk about this a lot. The Eight of Clubs is a very special card. I'm going to share a little bit more. I know you've heard some of this, but for the viewers here that are listening and are following along, the Eight of Clubs is one of three cards in the deck of, do you know how many cards are in a deck?
52.
Yeah, so one of three cards that is what is known as a fixed card, meaning in this very magical, mystical calculation and quadration of the deck that takes place for us to receive our soul roadmaps, every time you quadrate the deck, the Eight of Clubs, along with the Jack of Hearts and the King of Spades, return to the exact same spot, as in their card never moves, no matter how many times you go through this quadration process. So, what that says is that the Eight of Clubs person has a fixed mindset. So, change. Talk to me about change. Do you enjoy the process of
Ooh,
change?
I, I mean, change is one of my biggest fears, actually. I'm definitely afraid of change, and I, before I even knew that I was an eight, and before I was like being told all these things about my card and what it means, I came up with this catchphrase because I I tend to, once I put my mind on something, it doesn't change. Um, so I started saying, change my mind to everything. I would say a statement and
Like
I'd
a
say,
dare.
change my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost like a dare. And um, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's one of the ways, like you can be locked in on an idea, a concept, a belief that is very hard to move, not just an Eight of Clubs person, but also the Jack of Hearts and the King of Spades in different ways. But I think it's even stronger for the Eight of Clubs because the clubs are the suit of the mind. So this summer, we are exploring all the cards from the Ace to the King of Clubs and the energy that is infused and encoded into the club itself, which is the suit of the mind, and eights are the number of power. You go from the ace all the way up to the eight, and that is when you're in the fullness of the power. And so there is this sense of incredible ability to manifest, ability to put your mind to something and make it happen, to get very focused on it. And it can be in that negative sense of being so locked in on an idea, it's hard to deter or move in a different place. Like you could just like lock down on your idea and you won't hear any other sides until something really dramatic usually shakes you up or wakes you up in that sense. And then what was the other thing I was going to say about that eight? That fixed mindset. Oh, with change is also one thing that I learned, again, before I learned this card system, I've been practicing it for, oh, you're showing your your Lion's Gate bracelet. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the eight kind of looks like that infinity symbol. And the same goes true if you want to go back to the hearts. The 8 week of spring season, we talked about the power of love card. And now this is the power of the mind card. But this one has extra special uh, energy infused with it because it does belong to this karmic group of seven. And I mentioned three cards that are fixed, but there are four cards that flip flop back and forth and every time you quadrate the deck, and they are known as semi-fixed cards. So these seven cards are different from the other 45 cards in the deck. And I'm going to ask you a question about being different. Remember that. Okay. I'm going to come back to that because
Okay.
I want to complete the thought of what I was saying. But as a young child raising Rhea, I noticed that transitions were particularly challenging and hard. Like there was always, they needed lots of time
Still
to,
do.
you still do. You wake up so
I
early
wake
for
up at
school.
5 a.m. every morning just because I like my time.
And to beautify, right?
To be
To beautify. But you want that time in that transition period that an eight of clubs is can be a hard person just to get to transition from one thing to the next and or wanted to know what to anticipate, what to expect. And there would be lots of tantrums and lots of hard uh parenting stuff plus yeah, two other older siblings going on and all the chaos of that, but to regulate this child who just needed that sense of comfort and security of knowing what to anticipate. And so that was something to be aware of if you do have a child who is an eight of clubs or reflecting on your own story if you are an eight of clubs person yourself. How about before I ask you about being different, we read some of the birthdays? Would you do me
okay,
the honor of reading
of
and then
course.
sharing some of the fascinating people who happen to be Ada Club's birthdays? Before you do this, one more time, I want to remind listeners, if you're new here, if this is the first time you're being exposed to this, welcome. Glad you're here. Glad you get to come to such a special episode with my child. I want to remind you, however, that this system is based on the solar energy of your birthday. And it is also possible that you could have the Eight of Clubs as your planetary ruling card. So most of us, except for the Leos of the world, have two essences. The Scorpios have three. Two essences, two sides of our coin, our birth card and our ruling card. Your ruling card is determined based on your birth card. So we're going to read the birth card birthdays, of which my child is one of them. Let's
If
go.
you share any of these birthdays, then you are also an eight of clubs. March 28th, April 26th, May 24th, June 22nd, July 20th, August 18th, September 16th, October 14th, yours truly, November 12th, and December 10th.
So there you go. So those are the birthdays of these special cards. And what's interesting is that your older brother, May 25th, we thought was going to be born on May 24th, but indeed was not. So instead of being an eight of clubs, it's a seven of clubs, sun moon connection, which is interesting.
Mhm.
Are there any of the celebrity birthdays that jump out to you that represent perhaps this powerful mind card, this card of manifestation?
First one I'm going to say was a president, Dwight Eisenhower,
All
who
right.
also shares a birthday with me.
Oh, well, there you
Also
go.
born on October 14th.
All right. So a Libra, so also a four of
Also a
spades.
Libra, yeah. Bob Dylan, a singer.
Nice.
Um,
Dylan really, but he's not the same exact birthday of you.
he's
But
not.
no,
He was
but
born on the 24th.
okay.
Meryl Streep.
Oh, my Donna, Meryl Streep. Beautiful.
Um, who else?
You know,
David Copperfield.
yeah, I was just gonna say that
Which is
one.
interesting because as a child, I was also fascinated by magic.
Yes.
My eighth birthday party was a magic birthday party.
Right, where we had a magician. Do you remember the name of the magician? His
Yeah,
name.
Magic Mike. His name is Magic Mike,
I
which
think
I
he
did
was.
not understand until just recently.
I thought was funny that we had a magician named Magic Mike. Some of the mothers that were present were a little disappointed when it was an actual elderly magician named Mike.
That's funny.
Anyhow, I think it's interesting about David Copperfield specifically just because of how he plays with our minds. He's a great example of, a great illusionist that can trick our minds. And he uses the power of his own mind to create the illusions that those of us in the audience, I did get to see him perform once, and I was just like, what is happening? But a beautiful example of that, the power of the mind. Um, so the Eight of Clubs being one of the three fixed cards, it is often said that either if you're a fixed or a semi-fixed card, that you might somehow just feel like you're different from all of the others, that you don't quite fit in. Is that something that you resonate with or?
Oh yeah. Since I was a very young age. I think I only really noticed it when I was in like third grade.
Okay.
And I realized that, I was one of the kids who wasn't like the other kids who was running around with the boys, chasing all the girls.
Mm.
And I was, the kid sitting in the field picking grass out of the ground.
It
Um,
was fascinating to watch this one play soccer.
oh yeah,
Just kidding.
especially baseball in the outfield.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so yeah, from a very young age, I felt different, and obviously, I feel very different still from a lot of people, because I am, for those of you who don't know, in the LGBT community, um, and it's always felt a little bit outcasting,
Mm.
and like I was just there's everyone, and then there was me.
Mm, yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing that I find interesting about the system is sometimes it can just validate or confirm something that maybe you already know that you are a very unique energy. And they often say that the cards that are of the special family of seven will find each other. It's like, and I don't want to say
It's
the out.
happened twice in a row, right?
It has for you, you powerful young thing. But finding, and it's by no, of course, in our family, it's always fun. It's like, well, what's the birthday? And then let's do all the analysis of the person. But it is true that, in fact, you have dated two different
Yeah.
semi-fixed or fixed card, no, fixed cards, fixed cards. So, something to be aware of is how these people can find each other and just kind of have an understanding that the rest of us maybe don't have quite as much. With the powerful mind, with great power comes,
Great responsibility.
yes, like how you use the power of your mind. It's really, really important. So, one of the things that, again, as a parent of a child with such a powerful mind of manifestation, and really, honestly, the roadmap of an Eight of Clubs person is very fortunate. There's a lot of upside to it. Has to do with the stories and the beliefs that you allow yourself to believe. So I am aware of this energy for my child, but there are many, many Eight of Clubs that have no idea that they're an Eight of Clubs person. And so that powerful mind can lock in to an untrue belief, a misguided story that comes from, the parents, the society, the religion, the culture that you're raised in, that could be the beliefs of others, but is not actually a true belief. It could be a limiting belief. So I do my best when I notice that there is a narrative or a story that's starting to run to help you capture that and ask if this is true and is it truly serving you to believe this one thought, because they are harder to shake. So being aware of the stories, the mantras, the words that you say are so important for an Eight of Clubs person. Your word is your wand, and what you say out loud, or more importantly, perhaps what you say internally to yourself, even those self-deprecating thoughts, especially because an Eight of Clubs does feel different. Like if there are negative things you say to yourself, like I'm not worthy, or I just saw Wayne, not worthy. Anything from those type of thoughts to like really harsh ones. I hate myself. All of these things, or I wish I could be more like. And it's just being aware that the power of our thoughts is so important, particularly if you have this card. You have the ability, and when it shows up in your roadmap, anybody who doesn't have this as a birth or a ruling card, you can still get dealt this card in your soul roadmap, and knowing how to play it for the power of manifestation to really truly bring forth those things that you are desiring, to be the powerful manifester of the mind. Like you said, like you have that natural gift. It's also a very intuitive card, which is something that I hope that as you grow and develop, you'll start to see and use that power for
I
good.
already have.
You already have?
Mm-hmm.
You're doing mind tricks on people right now?
Mm-hmm. Got my eye on you.
What else do I want to say about the Eight of Clubs? I often talk about the karma cards, but this card being so special, it doesn't have a spirit and a soul card like the rest of the cards that move around the deck, and instead, their karma is related to those other cards. Is there anything that you would like people to know about what it feels like to be an Eight of Clubs?
I mean, one of the one of the hardest things for me
Mhm.
is not the mindset. Well, I mean, I guess it does tie into mindset, but it's holding grudges.
Okay,
And that's really hard to let go of for me. And
interesting.
that's interesting.
No, I do think that because again, when you're holding a grudge against somebody, you are running a story is replaying on. So holding a grudge.
Not one section of that person is replaying in your mind.
Mhm,
Um, and it's hard to see them change and kind of like to decide to forgive someone can be really hard.
mhm.
Um,
What have you used? What helps you? And again, I'm just going to reference this. This child is 16, going on 17. And, as somebody who's 52 years old, I am still learning forgiveness. It is a process. And holding grudges, maybe that is something that over time I can release that more, but the forgiveness piece is more complicated. But what are things that you do if you notice you're either running a negative tape, either towards yourself or towards another, and you feel your vibe going down, sinking?
well, I have a hard time rewriting on my own.
Hmm.
So instead of thinking, okay, this is a narrative and then switching that narrative, I typically try to switch my mindset altogether and focus that energy towards something else, which in recent time has been a lot of music.
Yeah.
I've been Whenever I'm starting to go down a path in my head, I'll just take that energy and instead of spiraling on it, put it onto a paper and or put it into keys or guitar strings. And it's it is very helpful for me to help process emotions in a way that I'm not just like looping the same story over and over and over and letting that beat into my head.
Right, right. And that's important to notice also that you don't always need to, you just need to divert your attention to something else and you could put that energy into it, or you can just pick up something totally different. Just be like, this is not serving me right now. I'm done with this. I'm going to pick this up.
Hmm.
Speaking of music, did you ever have lessons? Did I ever enroll you in
Oh
any?
yeah.
I did.
I mean, there's that video of me taking piano lessons when I was 3.
I think you were just playing the Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Twinkle.
Um, I had bass lessons as well.
Oh yeah, you did have bass lessons and stuff like that. But I've
I don't think
seen
I've ever had piano lessons other than I think I did have piano lessons
maybe for a
when
smidge.
I was like 3. Bass lessons.
Because
I've never had any
I've
piano
seen you
lessons.
self-teach yourself a lot of it, like
Yeah, I
guitar,
mean,
uh, and then from piano, I certainly have not taught. I never enrolled you in enough lessons to get you to the level of
oh yeah. I mean, I still don't know how to read sheet music.
okay.
It's like I try to find other ways to teach myself. Same with guitar. I've never been taught how to play guitar. I just
It's an example of how you can focus your mind on something that matters to you and
Mhm.
just figure it out. You can make it
figure out
happen.
different ways to learn and figure
Hmm.
out different ways to practice and
Hmm.
what works for me and what doesn't work for me.
Hmm.
And even with the instruments that I have taken lessons, I mean, they weren't very helpful for me. So, it has mostly been all self-taught. And yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. So there you have it. A beautiful mind, a powerful mind, a fixed mind, and just being aware for any Eight of Clubs that you heard, and I'll put the description in the description, the list of the birthdays. So if you know somebody of this birth card, that you can help them to understand their energies and particularly paying attention to the words they speak, the stories that they tell themselves, because they have such an incredible gift.
And it can be super helpful too. It's got me, my words and thoughts and have gotten me much more than like to the point where I almost thought that I was like magic. Like,
Like,
I remember I was I don't know if I want to say this example out loud, but there is an example where I was thinking about it for like a couple months straight, and I was like, what if this happens? What if this happens? And I was very doubtful that what I actually wanted was going to happen. But because I'd been telling myself that I could, um, I mean, it happened. And it was like really eye-opening for me. And I was like, this is the second time this has happened in a row, just because I've been like fixing my energy on like this idea and like putting my focus on this idea. And like I was almost like, dude, I think
I
I'm
know,
magic.
you are magic. You are magic. And that could be something really fun to play with, not just for the Eight of Clubs person, but for just about anybody. If you have something low stakes that you want
Or
to
high
bring
stakes.
forth, or were these high stakes
These were
examples?
high stakes.
Okay.
And I manifested, and
That's
I mean,
awesome.
it changed my life for the better.
Yay. Yay. But playing with the idea, if you're not attached to something, to just keep showing or asking for whatever it is that you want to and visualize it, see it.
And keep showing up
Yeah.
for it.
And then be on the lookout too. You have to be willing to receive as well, not just put out there, but then pay attention and receive. So wonderful. So the mental power card, my sweet child, Eight of clubs.
Singing and a curse.
I think that about sums it up. You didn't need anything except for that sound bite. It's a blessing and a curse. Great power, great responsibility. Thank you so much for being here. If you liked what you heard, if you would like to know more about your personal birth cards, there is also a soul roadmap clarity call where we can talk about your personal energies. You can share your birth date, and I will let you know what cards are yours. And more importantly, what's in the roadmap for the year ahead and how you can learn to play your cards to your best and your highest power and ability. Thanks for being here. Peace, love, and here's to joy in the journey. Bye, y'all.